guys, welcome to another video. Last night I was so inspired by my fun experience working with these pastel pencils and pan pastels, and I thought I would just get out another product that I had bought a long time ago, which are these Caran Neocolor 2 pastel wax-based pastel paint sticks. And you know, I was very dismissive of them because I just kind of thought, hey, they look like crayons. I've heard great things about them. I'll get a few in some skin and hair colors, and maybe, you know, the goal was to just actually pull them out and use them. And this is another art supply that I've never used, and I thought, well, let's give those a try and see how cool they are. And it was actually a really fun experience using them. The colors that I used, I just put on the top of the page there, and I'll give you my please forgive me for not doing the best painting job in the world. It was really meant to be just for fun and play, and I wasn't taking it too serious, but just more familiarizing myself with how to use the product, and just really enjoying myself, and just kind of doing a bit of art therapy. So if anybody sees this video and decides they'd like to give these a try, these are the colors. For the skin, I used Flesh, Salmon, and Sahara Yellow. For the cheeks, I used Salmon Pink. For the eyes, I used Light Blue. And for the hair, that combination I loved in particular. I used Brown, Saffron, and Sahara Yellow. And the way I did the hair is that I used the Sahara Yellow in the highlight areas, and I used the Saffron in the mid-tone areas, and I used the brown in the areas where you want the darkest colors. And then I did the brown all over to sort of blend everything out. And while this isn't perfect, it was kind of, for me, a fun first start. And for comparison, I just thought I would show you how these compare to the museum aquarelles. So this is a page that I showed on a previous video. This was all done with the Caran Museum aquarelle pencils, and what I found is that it's more time consuming. It takes a lot more time to build up the color. The pencil has a lot more pigment than any other watercolor pencil brand out there, but the museum, the Neocolor 2s are just so much more heavily pigmented that you can lay down a lot more pigment a lot faster. And so whereas this might have taken me 8 hours, you know, over 1 hour periods of time coming back and forth, I think I was able to get this done in an hour or two, just sitting down and literally just goofing off. I mean, for something that just feels like a crayon, I was like really impressed with how much color came out of them and how vibrant it is. And I just found them to be a lot easier to use actually than the museum aquarelles. So if it's something you want to do fast, if it's something where you're looking for a lot of pigment and something that you want to just enjoy doing for the process of it rather than for professional artwork, although I could see there probably are artists out there that use this for professional artwork, but I don't know how they overcome the waxy buildup on their page. So one drawback to my experiment is that I've been working with these coloring books and not actual artist grade paper. So just a brief mention on that. This book I purchased because I was under the impression all the illustrations were on extremely heavy cardstock, and it is. And then the publisher decided to republish it, and people really complained because the card that it was printed on was much lighter. And so then when the next book came out, even though it was hardcover, the paper was a lot lighter. So it really is hard to work with anything with water. If it's on a regular coloring book page, it's very hard to find coloring book pages that really can allow you to use color that requires water. So for final reference, this was the one that I used where the face was a museum aquarelle and the hair was museum aquarelle. And then I went in on a final layer and just used them dry. So first I used them wet, and then I used them dry. and you can see it's blotchy and it needs to be fixed with a lot more pencil work, but that's just kind of where I left off. So I just wanted to show you the difference. So the colors totally relate to one another. I do think that Caran d'Ache is very consistent with the pigment that they're using in all their branded products, and so it was just an incredibly rewarding experience to work with this product. I really loved the process of using it, and I highly recommend anybody just giving it a try and seeing if you like it. And it's a lot more affordable to get started with the Neocolor 2s versus the Aquarels, because they're on an open stock basis they're only $2, whereas the Aquarels I think are about $5. Then I just would finally just show how that compares to the pastel pencil exercise that I did, and you can see really in this comparison how much more matte the pastels are and how much more luminous the Neocolor 2s are, and both are really fun for different reasons. So anyways, before I put all of this away, I thought I would just share my videos so people can kind of see the difference between the two. And why don't I just show you how I did the hair really quickly, so that you can kind of get a sense for how I did it. See if I can do this in front of the camera. So I just put this color of yellow, what did I say that was? The Sahara yellow in the highlight areas, and then I put this saffron in the mid-tone areas, and then I put this brown in the darkest areas, where you want your darker areas. And then I kind of went like this all over, and I mean literally you literally scribbled. I'm sure if you've seen other videos you've seen other people demonstrate this, but I used the Derwent #1 water brush pen, and I work with it on the side of the brush except for detailed areas like the pupils of the eye, and you literally, everything just dissolves so easily, just like that. And I find that the pigment breaks down much easier on this paper that I'm using than the Museum Aquarels. So just by way of comparison, this crown up here, I used the Museum Aquarels because it was very, very tiny area and just wasn't able to get into it with these crayons. So with these crayons, so anyways, and I didn't have that color. So otherwise, besides the crown color, everything else was from the Neocolor 2. And I find that with the large areas, you can use the crayon direct to the paper. And with smaller areas, I just took the pen and scooped up, I can show you here. It is so easy to just go like this and pick up color, and then, sorry, literally standing in front of the camera. Do you see how, I mean, I barely touched the paint stick, and there's just enormous amounts of color that come off of it. So I think if you're a person that makes cards and wants to do watercolor cards, I see huge potential for these, as long as you have some cardstock that you can use wet medium on. And this Derwent water brush pen is amazing. It's just the perfect size for the areas that I went over on this coloring page. So anyways, I just wanted to share before I put all of it away, and that way I kind of don't forget, and before I move on to something else. So if you have any questions or are interested in anything that I did with my process, please let me know. I hope this is helpful for people. I know there's a lot of artists out there who have shared their expertise on how to use these. I'm just kind of sharing my own first attempt at using them and my initial reaction to them, and how that compares to the other Caran products I've been using, the luminance pencils and the museum aquarels. So altogether, it is such a joy to have all of them to be able to work with and use. And for me, I was super excited about the colors that I used for the hair in particular. It's very hard to go into a store and see these 3 colors and know that you could get a brunette hair out of these 3 colors. So literally it is that yellow and this orange, and then that brown over there. So it doesn't look like much when you look at them, and I think that is probably why it is so hard to get excited about them. They look like crayons, the colors don't look that appealing, but look at how beautiful they lay down, glide across the paper, and just really have this beautiful luminous look to them, and just glide on the page effortlessly. It almost feels like there's less wax in these than there is in the aquarel pencils. I wouldn't know. I don't know if they disclose that or not, but I just found them exceedingly easy to use and very buildable. What I found with the museum aquarel pencils is that once I laid down one layer of color and then did a wash of water with the paper I was using, I couldn't get it to build. But having learned from that, I laid down the maximum amount of color I thought I should for this project, going either real heavy or real dark, and then just doing one wash of color. I was totally able to go back in and do more and more layers. But I think some of that has to do with the fact that this card is very thick and it wasn't going to buckle or break. The surface of the paper wasn't breaking because there's just so much more substance. And that could be partly why I'm getting a lot more pigment out of the product than I was with the aquarels, just because I was using a much thinner paper. So anyways, I've got some construction people outside bothering me, so I better stop for now. Hopefully you're not hearing it too badly. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. I hope this video is helpful for some people. Just once again, just kind of show you how fun it is. You can go real light and look at how smooth that you can lay down this color. It was just so simple to lay down a very light wash of color. With these little areas here, I went in and redid them 3 or 4 times. It was very fun. So anyways, sorry about the noise. Thanks you guys. I'll look forward to connecting with you on the next video. Bye for now.